Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Agnes van Rhijn, and I'm a holistic business mentor to professional women who want to reach their full potential in life and in business without giving up who they are and what is important to them. I'm also the host and the founder of the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, and today it's my privilege to be interviewing Harriet Khataba. Harriet is a global change agent with experience in international project management, specializing in girl welfare and women's rights, highlighting social injustices. She is the founder of Her Story Matters, an organization advocating for change and giving women a voice, and through that has been a regular radio and television influencer and sought-after guest of media publications, discussing her passionate cause to serve women and have their voice heard. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Harriet. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I am a lot better today. I am so excited to be on your show, and I just can't wait for us to be able to share today.
I'm so pleased to have you. We've both been challenged. We both have been sick and had to postpone and etc. And my voice is still very raw. Hopefully we'll make it till the end of the interview. But let's go for it. Tell us your story.
Well, my story is, I usually talk about how I started Her Story Matters, and I had gone through a really difficult time in my life, and prior to that, I say difficult in the sense of emotionally, but everything else was working so well. I had been in amazing jobs. I was in fashion, I was in lifestyle, I was earning so much money, and you'd think someone in that position would be so happy, but I really wasn't. Deep down, I wasn't. I had really horrible relationships, and I had been raped twice, and I had not been able to share that. I had not been able to deal with that. So it all came crashing down. I had severe depression, and I was actually suicidal. And I remember the day that I wanted to commit suicide. That's the day that the concept came to me, and it was just a thought. I was like, if I'm feeling like this, there's so many other women who must be feeling the way I am. And I thought to myself, how about just having a platform where people will be able to talk about how they feel? Because I came to realize when I had depression, the language I was speaking, people were not able to understand it. I would say I'm feeling so depressed. And in how we speak it within our lingo, we always say, oh, I'm so depressed today. And it's so acceptable to say that you're so depressed today, or you're feeling so low today, or I'm so suicidal. So when someone is genuinely suicidal, we don't seem to actually take that serious.
Yeah.
I found that was the case. So I was drowning, and there was no one there to kind of like take up their hand and pull me out. And I decided to start that platform because I thought, if I felt like this, having such a successful lifestyle, and people looking at me from the outside, because when I tried to view how I felt, people said, you're being ungrateful. You have an amazing job, you live in a lovely place. Why are you so ungrateful? And I'm thinking, no, I'm not ungrateful. I just don't feel very good. So I thought it would be a good place for people to be able to talk about that. And that's how I came to do what one of the things that I do. That's how I came to deal with Her Story Matters. And when I started it, it was originally meant to be a television show. So we put everything together, but because we didn't have the money to go and start recording, we decided to have a platform instead for women to share their stories. And then it just evolved to what it is now. Most of the things I'm doing, I never intended to do them. It's just so amazing how
it just unfolded.
Yes, it just unfolded. And sometimes when you're doing things, when you have your own vision, and when you begin, sometimes some things unfold and you find yourself doing things that you never intended to do. And I think sometimes we get lost if we just don't navigate through the waters. But I'm glad I was able to, and I'm glad I got to where I am, because now I can see the impact of it being an organization as opposed to just being a show.
It's amazing, and I have been privileged to be one of the speakers at one of your conferences, and I was not the only one. So obviously, I heard other stories, and it's just incredible. It's just amazing. It is very interesting to see that and to hear that women tend to believe that what happens to them, they are the only one experiencing it. But when we start sharing our story, which is why I I've chosen to share mine very easily, you start realizing that you're not alone. There are so many other people, other women in particular, experiencing similar things, although we all have our own story, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing as we speak about your story. When you came and you shared, I wasn't expecting that either. And I can tell you that the young women in the room were really touched because of what you shared. We always look at different aspects in our life, but even successful people fall in that category. You end up having a man and you're trying to do everything you can, you sacrifice yourself to try and bring this person up, not realizing that by doing that, you're actually sacrificing your own destiny and your own assignment and your own purpose. And I think we don't hear much of that because women are like, oh yeah, I have to support my man. I'm not saying we don't do it, but I'm just saying you have to remember that you also have your own path to walk. And I was so glad that you shared that because there were so many young girls in the room and they took from that. And up to today, they still speak about it. So thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I was in a place where I ended up understanding that a lot of people, when something serious happens to them, think that they have no choice anymore. And which is why I keep now saying that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. I mean, I reinvented myself. I was 58 and I started completely from scratch. Assuming from scratch, of course, with a life experience is from scratch, but I had to start all over again. And yeah, that's why I want to give that type of hope. And that's something that you and I are sharing, is that we want to give hope to women. We want to help them see what the possibilities are. Yes. So tell us more about your platform right now, because I know more about it, of course, but that's not the case of our viewers.
So literally what the platform does is it offers women an opportunity to tell their story. But that's how we started. And as you go along, you discover there's so many different things that, your business is able to do. And when we started it, we had women tell their stories. We had, we helped them go through the emotional healing. And then what we found was when they got to a place where they felt stronger, they were looking to us for what next. So we had to go and sit down and think, okay, what next? How else can we help these women? So we came up with helping them through their journey in life. So if you've gone through the emotional things, then we look at you and we say, okay, what else do you want to do? What do you see yourself accomplishing? How can we help you do that? And with some of them, it was with their businesses. Some of them, it was to be better at work, to have better skills at work, to be well articulated at work, how to speak, how to carry themselves, develop their confidence. So it turned from just telling your story to being able to lead with confidence. And when we started doing that, we also realized that so many corporate women could identify with what we were doing. And this was so remarkable because that was a market we never thought. We didn't even, think about.
Yeah.
We were thinking of, okay, let's deal with these women. And we found that these women in corporate really wanted to give back. And their way of giving back was to mentor these women who are upcoming, because you have to help each other out. And I always say, when you leave your legacy, it's not with what you've left in your will, it's what still continues to live in other people. And it's what you impart on other people. What do you teach them? How do they go forward? And this is something that we've been able to merge between the people who are coming up, the young women who have so much potential coming up, and the mature women who have, all the accolades, they've got the experience. And one of the things we did is we did women in leadership, where we were able to bring the two together and they were able to be inspired. And, from that, we have the younger people, deciding who they want to go with. Do I listen to you speak? I'm inspired by you. I think I want you to mentor me. And that has started happening. We've got so much collaborations and partnerships from that. So that's another thing that we're developing, and we're working a lot more to work on webinars on our sites. We want to have memberships because people want more, and we're there to give them more. Another thing that we did is we increased our platform, because now that things are breaking off, we have one side, which is the agency, which we look after the needs of the people, emotional, physical, people who are going through domestic abuse. And because we've got such a huge international platform as well, what we're doing is we are collaborating with other organizations to be able to make this happen. So we have some people who are able to finance, for instance, girls to go to school. So we go to these communities and find girls who need to go to school, who are not privileged. We find young boys who are, being used as workers in the field. We help them bring money to buy cows and goats. It might seem like a really small thing, but when you introduce the cows to do the digging, then the children are able to go to school. So
Yeah.
we're transforming communities by using education and small things that would make a big difference to the community. And then we're using the girls who are going to school over the weekends. What they do is they go to one room and then they teach the older people who don't know how to count, who don't know how to spell.
Oh, that's inspiring.
In the community, to give back in the community. And this helps grow the community, and this helps, economically helping them to come together, and just enhances the community. So that's what the agency does. And then the other side of the organization is having the magazine, for instance, to increase the platform, their awareness, and to feature more prominent women as well. And the television as well, which we're going to be starting very soon. We'll start recording in January, but we'll air in July. So we've got, it's always ongoing. It's always transformational, and it's something that we're very excited about, and always looking for collaboration.
So Harriet, are you focusing on specific countries? I mean, how do you decide which people you work with, for instance?
So most of the time, these people get in touch with us because it's very difficult to know what goes on in that community. So, for instance, there's a lady in Zambia who has got an orphanage. Someone like that was introduced to us through a mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
She already has her own school. She already has activities going on in the place. So it's easy to support that because there's already some form of structure and system in the place. There's some who are looking after children on their own, who reach out to us and say, well, I've got 5 girls, they need to go to school. They don't have the money. Their parents don't have the money. What we do is we get in touch with the school they go to. We speak to the headmistress and we speak to the teachers, because we have to verify that these students do go there.
Yeah, of course.
So are they doing well in school? Can we get access to their grades? And then when all of the information is finalized, then we're able to pay the actual the school fees, and then we avoid anywhere that the money might be.
Yeah, it goes directly to the source.
Yes, and then the girls can go to school. The girls can have everything they need from the school. So we have people who get in touch with us themselves, small communities who do that, and then we just find ways to be able to collaborate with them.
It's really, really inspiring. So it's interesting because you work, I would say, in the field locally, as you said, Zambia, etc. And you also have your work with the corporate world. How do you find the corporations that are willing to be involved in a process like that?
I would say I've been very, very fortunate. I've been to events where I went in, and there are people that I've been trying to access, sending them emails. You know what it's like. The email just goes on the emailing list.
Yeah.
So I've gone to these events, and with my business card, I introduced myself. I said, this is what I do. And then it just turned out that those are the people I'm trying to access. So that's one of the ways that I've been able to find them. Obviously, you have to network. Networking is very important, and being able to follow up. And also being able to send emails to all of these people. They might not pick it up the first time, but I believe that the more you send it, the more they're like, what does this person actually do? And then they come and they look at what you do, because they're so fed up with getting your email. And they finally go and have a look at what you do. And they're like, okay, so this is interesting. They will give you a call, or they might have you at the back of their mind. Maybe not now, but maybe later. And then we've got we've been using social media a lot, and we found a lot of people in different countries, in Australia and America, namely, they've been very, very key in responding to our messaging. They've been key in responding to what we stand for and what we believe in.
and they've been reaching out. It's been so amazing because some of them are private investors. So they would just come and say, do you have this in place? Can I help young women? Or because that's their passion, they want to help young women with education. So I'm thinking, yes, actually, I have plenty of young women that can receive this funding. So that's how it works. And I think you just have to be very creative and innovative in how you find these people, because the world has changed. The same things don't work the same way.
No,
So
definitely.
Yeah.
And so how many people are working in your organization right now? Or is it all people who are just giving their time? How does it work?
So I have my core team has the person in charge of marketing, the person in charge of IT, the person in charge of the branding, the person in charge of the website. So that's 4 people just on the technical side. There's myself. I have 2 assistants that help me with administration. It's crazy because my diary is just insane. I mean, those are things I do for Her Story Matters, but I also have my own personal things that I do. And then I have got an accountant. So those are the people that I need the most. I've got 8 people in the team right now. The rest of the people, we get them when we need them. So when we're running campaigns, we need extra people. We will get the extra people for the team for that time. So when we're not running campaigns, we will have less people. We always hire or get volunteers as per our needs.
Okay, so any person listening to this interview and who would be interested in volunteering could contact you and find out how she can help you? Well, he or she.
Yeah, he or she. I like that. Yes, they can do so. They can just send me an email. They can get in touch with me on social media anywhere. I always respond. They can get in touch with me. Let me know where you are in the world, and we'll be able to work something out. We've got a lot of volunteers from different countries because we've got very many ambassadors right now who are going forth with the message of One Voice, the campaign that we're running.
Yeah.
Message behind One Voice is we're different cultures, different people, but we have one voice. And one voice is, whatever your situation is, you want your voice to be heard. You want circumstances to change for you. And those things will not happen when you're standing on your own.
Yeah.
Those will happen when we are all collective. So the campaign will be about education. We'll encourage women, children, education. Will encourage young people with technology, which is so exciting. I love technology and innovation. We'll get them to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to run through politics as well. So we're touching areas that girls don't usually go to.
Yeah.
Yes. And trying to encourage them to go onto those various things, as well as making sure that women, wherever they are, their voices are heard. And whatever your voice is, someone else is singing the same song. And that's our messaging at the moment.
Yeah. So talking about contacting you, how can people find you?
They can contact me on Facebook under Rhoda Harriet Khataba. I'm on Twitter, Harriet Khataba. I am on, you can send me an email. That's just harrietkhataba@herstorymatters.com or info@herstorymatters.com.
And a website?
That's www.herstorymatters.com. And our Facebook is herstorymatters.com.
And I suppose that if they go to the website, they can find all the information that you just mentioned, Twitter, etc., etc.
Yes, they can. Yeah.
So what do you have on the list for 2017, given we are at the beginning of the year?
Oh, God. I was looking at people putting out their goals, and I'm like, I wish my goals were that, that small. This year, we're expanding Her Story Matters. We want our presence our presence is already in America, but we're going to be doing an event in America this year. We're going to be doing an event in Africa. We're going to do an event in London. We're doing the campaign for One Voice. We want to be able to help up to 1,000 girls to be able to go to school, studying in school. We want to be able to eradicate child labor by helping small villages to have their animals to do the work so the children can go to school. We want to empower women economically. I am passionate about helping women economically. I can help you with your emotions, all I can. But if you're not empowered economically, your circumstances and that of your family and your community is not going to change. So I am very keen on changing economical situations and circumstances for women this year. And in February, I'm launching a coaching program with a business partner, which is going to be for 365 days. We're having people sign on. I have the television show that will be
wow.
the magazine, and a lingerie brand that will be out this year as well. So there's a lot to do, and I'm just.
This is Are you sure that you have 24 hours a day? Because for me, you must have more.
No, I think the key is being very well organized and if you have the right people in your team, you can do it.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
This is amazing. You're so inspiring, Harriet. You're so inspiring. I'm really happy that our paths have crossed at some point, something like maybe a year ago, whenever that was. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you again. And for the viewers and listeners, because there's an audio version of this as well, if you want to reinvent your life, because it's never too late for it, or simply invent it if you're very young, you can get a complimentary discovery consultation with me by going to my website, and that is anyesvanrijn.com, ANYESVANRHIJN.com. See you in next interview. Bye.